Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome to today's Power Boost. So our topic today is let your light shine. Let your light shine. There is an interesting piece of scripture that I remember that starts out that way. It says, let your light shine so that all may see your good works. And so I wanted to have that be our focus today because to take on to yourself the understanding that individually we have with regard to how we show up in the world, having the understanding of the impact that can have is not only important to our well-being, but of course, it makes your world a better place and the world a better place. And the times that we're living in, everyone can play a role in making the changes that are so necessary today. And when I ask that we let our light shine, what I'm talking about is finding within yourself that special quality that we all have that you can make manifest in the world. And I'm not referring to those essential spiritual qualities that we always talk about. I'm talking about some particular contribution that by your focus and development of it would change things. You know, sometimes when we focus so much on the people that are famous and have a particular reputation, we think that that excludes us. So, for example, what comes to mind for me is someone like Thomas Alva Edison. I happen to make New Jersey my home, and I'm very familiar with Edison. And if you happen to be in New Jersey or you are from this part of the country, a good place to visit is museum in West Orange. And when you go there, you'll see all of the efforts, all of the failed efforts that ultimately led him to have a breakthrough and find the right filament that is now for so many years been the gateway to all of the indoor lighting that we're enjoying. And so what I'm asking you to think about is, what is it about you? What is it about the light that you are that will illumine the lights of others? So Edison did that literally. We have him to thank for bringing the kind of brighter atmosphere everywhere. And what I'm saying is that you don't have to think of yourselves as an Edison, but think of what is it in your own repertoire of abilities and interests that were you to focus on would make the world a better place? Now, of course, the motivation for doing that is key. You shouldn't be doing it to become rich and famous. And you might, however, that shouldn't be the motivation. As long as the motivation is to help others, as long as the motivation is to give, as long as the motivation is one of selflessness, then the rewards and the success will come. So whether the obstacle may be time, whether the obstacle may be money, whether the obstacle may be education, the motivation for whatever comes to mind for you right now that you can, with your work on it, change things in such a way that it will affect your world and our world, that would change every day of your life. That would be your permanent power boost. It doesn't have to have a time frame, because what you are doing is changing how you're living your life. You change from being one who is victimized or one who is dependent to one who is cooperating and bearing your share. And this is a share that you decide, is not decided by others, but you've decided to invest your energies and your time into something worthwhile. And that is what is meant by letting your light shine. You know, there is this political activist called Miriam Williamson. Well, before she was a political activist, she was very spiritual in her development. And one of the things that she says is that when you let your light shine, you give others permission to do the same. And so when one lamp is lit, it's usually followed by other lamps being lit. And so our challenge today for all of us, for all of you, is to begin to see yourself as that dimly lit lamp that, with a change of perspective, a commitment to contributing in the most beneficial way that you can with whatever is your specialty, that is what will boost your power, not just today, but for the rest of your life. And let me say immediately that once you start to think about these things, usually what will occur is, well, what's wrong with it, or what could go wrong? That's our default condition when we are attempting anything that's a change of direction. What could go wrong? Well, I want to alert you to that right away, but understand that on the other side, this is where you should turn. Instead of asking yourself or entertaining what can go wrong, You want to be asking and entertaining the question, what's right about this? Not what's wrong, but what's right about this. And of course, every question gets the kind of answers consistent with the question. And so when you ask that question, what's right about this? You will get the kind of answers that will support you in making your own light shine. And so let's make today that day for you. And by being able to focus away from yourself and beginning to focus on the benefit your contribution can make to the whole world, by the way, that changes how you see yourself, but especially how others see you. Many a time in these sessions or in our live programs, we've reminded you that you have this energy field. And when you are unhappy, it shows up in your energy field. When you're angry, it shows up there. And of course, when you're content and when you're satisfied and when you are calm and when you are poised and when you feel this sense of gratitude and benevolence, that also shows up in your energy field. And so let your light shine. And if I may borrow another quote from this time, Amanda Gorman, who gave us this wonderful poem. Don't remember the title. I think it's called The Hill We Climb, that one, The Hill We Climb, because life is like that. And she says that there is always light if only we are brave enough to see it, if only we are brave enough to be it. And you can summon up that courage today. And don't put a time frame on whatever it is that you are working on. And it might be one of those things that is infinite in its capacity, infinite in its benefits. It may just be that you've decided to smile at strangers every day. That may be it. It may just be that you decide that you are not going to respond in kind when someone is not nice to you. It may just be that you will decide always to put others first. You can't even imagine the ramifications that would have in the world. So you don't have to invent the light bulb. And you could end up being responsible for something just as great. But the important thing is the mindset, is to make the decision today to look for where your small light can become a lighthouse. And by so doing, you stop being part of the problem, stop being victimized, stop being one who is at effect, and you start to be part of the solution. And so today can be your beginning. And for the rest of the time that you have this day, depending on when you're hearing this, focus on that. Focus on what you can give and let your light shine.